Let it go. 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 Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go. Yeah, let it go. Yeah. Let it go. Help me let it go. Master Jesus, let it go. Yeah. Help me let it go. Go, 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 go. Oh, let it go. I'm tired, let it go. Give your heart to Jesus. Let it take control. Just sit and worship. I know it hurts you.
All right. Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. This is our ultimate goal here to showcase the good aspect of Liberia. The culture of Liberia is very, very unique. Only some people are bringing bad behaviors, corrupt behaviors, and they are trying to pollute and contaminate the culture. In fact, the culture is already being destroyed. Where is Kenya? Where is Kenya? There is no nation on planet Earth without their own heritage, without their culture. Probably there are things that we didn't really take a long-term implication for which we are to this point here. But we're taking you to inside Maryland County in the southeastern side. I have a video of the liberal. The guy left from here. He went to Maryland. The top minister took one this country lapper and he was dancing. Somebody might manage to sneak that video right over to me. And right now he's negotiating. He doesn't want me to put that video out there, but I told him to get something off the share that go box, So if he doesn't pay, he will pay the price. I am Afonso Zay, and so of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to say good evening to our many viewers, listeners, far and near. Thank you for your commitment. We value so much of your time and the passion. And we are aware here at LPR, simply not to watch or not to listen to us, but to ultimately understand and be able to make some good decisions about your country. It's all about your country, it's not us. We are just here internally at some time we'll be going by. We want to welcome you. It's 8:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's good to be back here to see who I'm going to bring on here. This guy here, he tried to steal my fan when I hear the guy, where the liberal, where the blockade, this and that. I don't understand. But let's see what's going to happen here. We were both in Liberia. He was there. The station manager was there. We had a very great time, even though we are going there to lay our mother to rest. I saw some of the park here. When he was there, he didn't say fine. By the time he got to Sacramento, he moved ready to run. Let's see what's going to happen here. Let me bring in the liberal from Saxton, Sacramento, California, Samson Blocko Branto. You really can, when you want to cry for my old man, or you get when there to go so new suits.
This is the blessing that our mom left, and pray for all of us.
Look at this suit. My goodness.
And so we want to utilize that opportunity because she's surely bless us all. And I'm just using that opportunity to get stuff, and I'm blessed.
It looks like you are already in the photo. The way I see you, your behavior has changed significantly overnight. You're already in the photo. Which of the photos you're in already?
I am in the CPP or whatever remain of it.
Oh, please don't contaminate the conversation so early. Is there anything called CPP? Is it still alive?
No, but in my mind it is.
In your mind, what that means?
Mr. Soul, did you bring me on here tonight to have a serious conversation or to talk about Liberian politics? And I think
well, that's a little bit house. You know the tradition. That's a little bit housekeeping we are doing. So, but I like that share, man. You told me that you said 15 suit you saw or what? How many of them?
Around that area, around there, and then I'm gonna be zooting into Proport and everything else. And
Interestingly, you
I
didn't even surprise me with one as to wipe my tears.
well, why should I surprise you? We all were in Montreal at the same time. We all struggled through the keke and the motorbike. Why would I want to surprise you?
Okay, folks, that's how we do it here. That's a little bit housekeeping. Deliberate. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you, Mr. So I also want to say to the audience that we're back and we're very happy to be back. God is just wonderful. God is just wonderful to let us all, the station manager, you and I, have been praying so hard, so much, so many times that one day we will be able to have the opportunity to be in Liberia at the same time, and we were there at the same time. Just to lay the old man to rest, and I think not only that, but the fact that she has blessed us all, we were able to do that with all of the feelings, emotion, everything was involved. But we did it sincerely, and I think she's much more pleased. I'm sure, with the help of our own brother Tommy, who also was involved, and our older sister. So the entire family were there, and of course, it's a very
I
sad
think
thing to lose,
there
but
was,
but we truly have good time.
yeah, you live in a very greater portions of that's the LPR offense. It's unbelievable. People send their financial contributions. They send in their greetings. They were checking in. Nobody sent you message, and that's why you don't want to talk about. I was receiving tons of messages. Nobody knows you. Nobody sending any message. The people they say you are unstable. One day you will see PP, another day you will see DZ, another day with Joseph Boyka, and all of that. So people are mad, they were unhappy, so you didn't get anything. But I can tell you, my inbox was flooding. But on a serious note, I would want to say a big thank you to our to all of our fans and those that were concerned whether we want to be back. It just all of us left here. The liberal, the station manager was out. Manzola is on a leave for now. So and we really didn't have the time to mount our cameras as usual. Like sometimes, like in the past, we do some interview. I just thought that this trip, they gone trip to just give it to the old lady, and I because I just didn't want to mix the conversations and all of that. So even though we had some few visits here and there, but we didn't really, except when I went to my alma mater, I taught me how to 150 something to, commencement. Convocation, that was the only thing. Okay, so let's get a conversation going here. Let me start with you. How was your visit in Liberia? Any change of mind, political mind? What did you see? Why you like? Why you didn't
Mr.
like?
So, I'm back in the state. I can open my mouth now. As Bill correctly stated, I was in Liberia. I have to shut my mouth. But I'm back now. I can open my. No, on a very serious note. On a very serious note. No, to be honest with you, Mr. So, I think we went there. Some of us went there with heavy heart, in that most of the thing you hear about Liberia here and there. And so we were a little bit concerned, but the fact that we were on the ground and we saw a lot of things, there are a few things that I can criticize on, but overall, this government and the people of the Republic of Liberia, I am very, very happy and pleased to say to them that they were able to keep the peace. As I stated yesterday on my little podcast that I have, which was to say that the fact that the peace is there, and Dr. We are his people, and the people of Liberia able to keep the peace, giving everyone opportunity to make sure Liberia is moved forward. If there's no peace, if the peace is disturbed, I believe then it's difficult for any of these young people to come in to try to bring in new ideas and move Liberia forward. But as long as the peace is there, the opportunity is there for all of us as Liberia to do what we can to make sure that we try to do things that will improve the lives of our brothers and sisters, mothers, fathers, and everyone else back home. So, but overall, I truly have good time and I enjoy myself, except for what I believe to be the issue as far as I'm concerned. is the transportation system in the city of Monrovia, which is not pervasive. It's all over the country, to be honest with you, but it's a little bit slower in the countryside than it is in Monrovia. It's the process of having so much transportation operators that are so much in the street of Monrovia. When I'm speaking about that, I'm talking about the motorbike, the keke. And my son is one of those that plow the street of Monrovia as well. But these people, they have no regard whatsoever with your property, your cars and vehicles, nothing. You have
Hello, you are a victim of your car.
yes, yes, but
I
I'm
used to
talking
see
about,
every time when you come now, you look at your view mirror, you look at the
yes,
car, and you are
yes,
complaining. Let's welcome
but
them. And guess what? Not to interrupt you, about our own contributor, Mr. Widow, George Widow, right? 72nd, the Boulevard. And he was very smart. He has gone, I think, for a visit too. For some reason, it was just a coincidence. I got down from the car. Something I was trying to, I think I was taking a picture. I saw some kind of little crazy stuff. And then when I look, I just heard his name. When I look back, it was Widow. I mean, he wanted us to hang out, but you know that Maria there, man, it's just crazy. We didn't have the time to do that. But Mr. Widow, George Widow is our contributor. He's on, I don't know, it's a sick leave or working on leave. You know, maybe he's in the photo now too. But go ahead. I mean, he'll
no,
be back.
no. What I was going to say is that with my own, before leaving from here, my wife and I was able to get some transportation of vehicle, which is not up to 2000 whatever year, but it's a decent car. Uh, but what I quickly noticed when I got in Monrovia, that this car was going to be taking me from point A to point B. But I also noticed that the fact that these people have no respect for people property, and I decided, okay, if this is what they're going to do, I'm not going to fix whatever it is on this car. We'll just drive it like that and until it breaks down. And so because of that, I wasn't much concerned with the way the motorbike cut people off, hit you so many times. So I said to myself, well, let this be like a protector as I'm riding. And nobody hit me. That's it. We're gonna. And they hit me so many times. And my car, I mean, it has so many yellow pin all over the place because the keke driver, their mode of transportation,
So
it's all yellow. And then I use that to protect myself as well.
let's enjoy into this conversations of finding some solutions to the many problems and challenges. I'm not sure whether those that are in charge is part of their deliberate action not to find solution here. That I was around Concord Town and you were at 72nd junction. I believe you are doing some sort of podcast and monitoring, watching the traffic. The traffic around that area around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, it is insane. It is crazy. You are engineer, and I believe behind the conversation that you wanted to make some recommendation. But this is the saddest thing. People want to reach out to people to help, but very few people are willing to listen, or they're not even willing to listen. What is you as an engineer, and I know do road design and all of that. What is the problem at that junction and other places for which sometimes you stay in the traffic for 2, 3, 4 hours? What you observe there from you? What do you observe?
Mr. So, thank you for that question. It's a very interesting question because I view that process from two different perspectives. One is from my own personal perspective as a Liberian. I view this as being chaotic, as being the process has failed. But as an engineer and someone who looks at system, I think these people have a system. Now, to you and myself, those of us that are just coming in to Liberia, and you think, wow, this is chaotic, what have you? No, for them, it's a system. And I quickly noticed one thing I noticed for sure that these people that are so for you, they're so much
Let's not,
confused.
let's speak. Let's make it a little bit clear and precise here for the benefit of the audience. These people, who are the people you are referring to?
Those that utilize the transportation facility in Liberia, the taxi driver, the keke operator, the motorbike operator, and even the private vehicle owners and the government officials, they have a system. They have a system. Now, this system that I thought they have, and I've noticed that it's not a system that I would try to employ anywhere else for safety's sake. But here's the interesting thing. These people, for the days you were in Monrovia, yeah, you have people hitting each other, but it was not severe to the point that they're going to have to take somebody to the hospital. I never saw that. So what I'm saying is they know exactly how much to push each other. And you will see them doing these kinds of dancing like ants tangled each other, but they're not going to hit. They come very, very close. Now, if you're a stranger, this is how they know when you're a stranger, because you get nervous very quickly, and then you try to get yourself off the road. But for them, they push each other almost to the breaking point. But because of the system that they also operate in, they know exactly what to do and what not to do. Now, in terms of traffic jam in most of the places like SKD Boulevard and how they call it, the Tottenham Boulevard, I noticed that, and I did some video on that. One of the things that I noticed also is that the traffic jam comes about when they have police in the street trying to direct traffic. But if there's no police, because I go to work in the morning from Dupo Road, I go to Congo Town where the office that I'm working from station. So I go through that intersection twice a day, going in the morning and coming in the afternoon. Now, when you're going in the morning, when there's no police in the center of the road, they are so respectful to each other. Now, you will have some few knuckleheads that will try to just bug me, but many of the time you will find people coming in yelling to the other people to go through. Then they go through because there's no policeman
So
to direct.
wait a minute. You're trying to tip me off now. Are you saying the police are the
Yes,
process
yes,
of
that's exactly, because I observe it not just one time, not two times, 3 to 4 times. Whenever, and I have the video of that. Whenever there is no, they have this little booth on the side that they go, and when the tire is standing in the sun, they go sit under the booth. But
so? There is, I can't remember whether there's a red light at that 72nd Boulevard Junction. Is there any red light there to
no, the light that's supposed to be solar
for
panel, but
having such an open corridor, a major intersection? Because when you're coming from Concord Town, Alagoon way, coming down, there's a major outlet there too that hits the main drive. You're having people coming from the boulevard hitting Concord Town, people coming from ERBC way, or people coming from Concord Town. Are you seeing that corridor? There should be no law enforcers to give some sense of direction.
if what I've noticed, and I'm just saying this, whenever the police officer stands, and sometimes they have two or three police officers will stand in the traffic. Okay, one facing the SKD going towards 72nd, the other one facing EW, and the other one facing Congo Town going towards Monrovia. Now, what I noticed most of the time when you have these people, the police officer trying to direct traffic, trying to say go this way and go that way. First of all, the keke and the motorbike do not respect their rules. They do not respect when they say stop, they don't stop. So that's first thing. So the second thing is
Why are they in defiance of that? Why don't
because like I said, they have a system, and the police themselves know it very well that what the system is. And in fact, if you look at the Boulevard Junction, most of the people that get stopped by the police are motorbike and keke most of the time. So they know the system. But the point here, Mr. So, is like I said, from my own observation. Okay, anybody else can go out and do their own observation, but from my observation, when the police are now on the scene, they're sitting down under their booth. The traffic, it's still chaotic from my perspective, but it is much more smoother than it will be if the police are there. Now, another thing you will find out, when the police are on the road on that intersection, you have in the morning, specifically in the morning, you have people coming to Congo Town, going to Monrovia, will want to take 3 lanes, the lane that is not designated for them. But in the
Is that a fault?
process,
Is that a fault of the police?
no, it's just lawlessness. That's all it is. People, and I said this is a system, but let me explain that. So as they get closer to the police, as the people in the third lane, as they get closer to the police, they're now knowing full well that they are violating the rule. They will not stay on that third lane to get to the police. So about another 4 or 5 cars before they get to the police, they're now coming back into the second lane. Okay, and now you have 3 lanes coming into the bottleneck and having 2 lanes. As a result, you have a serious traffic jam. Okay, but if there's no police on the road, first of all, many of them, because the traffic moves smoothly, so there's no reason to create third lane that does not exist for them. Now the third lane comes about, and I asked the Minister of Public Works about that. And she explained the third lane comes about because the legislature have given to themselves, made a law to themselves, so that they will be able to create a third lane for them,
Okay.
for themselves. So people follow that.
Yeah. Now, the legislature, the first branch of government, decided deliberately on purpose. I don't know what sort of immunity they are granted it. Do you think, is that something for them to do?
Well,
If we want a
Mr.
system, if we want a system and we want to change society and we want things to go smoothly, because one of the things that is so annoying and so pain in the neck, I think my next trip I gotta go to, maybe I gotta check online, find maybe a siren of my own, because this whole channel like he had every car, anything that moves with 4 tire, they get some sort of a siren. And I plan to have a sit with he agreed. But then I have a second thought. I said I'm gonna do it another time. Moses Carter or maybe the police commissioner. Because I think that is the recipe of that traffic. And I told you I want to come to that point. Because everybody flying and all of these officials, we don't even know whether they are official. Once we see them with dark windshields, the tinted glasses, and all of that, they put a blinking light, 2, 3 cars behind them. They're going to leave their lane and they are in hurry. Nobody knows where they're going. Whether are they going for lunch? Whether are they going for their own private? Whether are they going for government official stuff? And as a result, once they do that, the ordinary people back there to follow suit, and that's where this jam traffic. That's where I think that's the recipe of it. Why should all these people that are flying, leaving their lane, leaving from the other side, jumping places? Are these people, all of them, do they have passes from the police or from the authority that they can go anytime, go through?
Mr. So, first thing first, those of us that believe in higher power, Jesus Christ, that is, believe that God is very much in favor of Liberia, and God has continued and will continue to bless the people of Liberia. It is unbelievable in terms of traffic, the kinds of things that happen in a little city, and you don't hear daily people dying. So it's a massive of God as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Now,
I agree with you.
the legislature, these people they're politicians, and so they make these law for themselves. That perhaps is a privilege for me. But what I also want to say here very quickly is that many of the people that apply the street of Monrovia, okay, I believe they seriously believe that they have as a constitutional right to drive. For me, I want them to understand that driving is a privilege. It is not it is not a right. You do not have the right to drive. It is a privilege of given you by your government from the people. The government come out with the facility, the transportation facility for you to use, thereby giving you the privilege to drive. Because why? For example, your driving license can be suspended. Your car can be taken away by the government if you violate any law. So it's not a right; it's a privilege. But my brothers and sisters, from what I gathered so far, they think it's the right. Now let's go back to the issue of the traffic and the legislation. From an engineering perspective, it is bad completely bad idea to have this third lane when it's not designated as such. If you want to do something like that, and they have the money, if you want to create a third lane specifically for legislation, you know the time that people go to work.
What is
And
the
you know
point
the
of
time.
that even?
Well, you can do that. You can, because like I said, it's a privilege for them. They created they're politician. They were elected so they can create some privilege for themselves, and they're within the rights. They make the law. So I'm not going to challenge that. But what I can say to them, if you want to do something like that, stay within the confines of engineering ideas of how these things are done on the road. For example, you know the time that people go to work, specifically legislature, or the time they leave offices to come home. So what you do then is the main road, which is the Tupman Boulevard. You decide, okay, the people come home, they start leaving at 4 o'clock. So by 1 o'clock, you start putting down cones, cones to actually have a line of cones where they can stay within. They can't get out of the cone. And then the cone leads from the legislature all the way as they come out and reach to each one of the intersections. There's an opening for them to go. If you do that and you station police at each of the intersections, if you do that, you will not have private citizen, motorbike, or keke to follow these people as soon as they leave. And this is the danger of everything else. Because as soon as the serene car leaves and the chief justice or whoever the serene car is leading for, as soon as they leave, everyone else follow with speed, creating a lane that is not designated for them. And one of the other danger that I saw also, just from an engineering perspective, most of these streets are not even lined. They are not striped. So at night, forget about night. In the day, you don't even know whether you're in the middle lane or you're in the second lane, or even where is the yellow line telling you not to cross. For Christ's sake, Mr. So. And the reason I'm saying all of these things, before I used to be on the podcast. So Liberian engineer, they're not even doing good. They seem not to be good. Wrong. I attended Liberian Engineering Forum. There's got Liberian Engineers Society. I attended their conference, their convention in Banga. And these people, they're young, but Mr. So, some of the most intelligent, some of the most smart engineers that I have encountered were at that conference. Why are they allowing these things to happen? Why are they allowing these things to happen? I have no clue. But when they started talking about engineering process, these young people are so smart. You can tell that these people, they can go any part of the world and be some of the top engineers in any of the engineering firm. But yet still in their own country, they are unable to produce that will be of benefit for their brothers and sisters. It's very sad. It's very sad. So back to the traffic, Mr. So, if they want, you ask the Minister of Public Works about the traffic situation, what does she do? She throw it back to the Minister of Transport. And I've had that interview with her. So these are kinds of things that was a little bit concerning as far as I'm concerned.
Let's look at the fixes at our intersections. I'm curious here, these major intersections that are the main corridor of this sort of traffic jam, because it's not just only about traffic. I am also concerned people that will be in serious critical condition, needs medical help. How can they go through when you have such a traffic? I'm wondering whether the very lawmakers, people who should also have a second thought when they are even putting these laws in place for themselves, but there is no contingency plan for the ordinary Liberian. But once it's okay for them, they don't sit down in their offices. They up and down, they have the right. We can tie them in, that's okay. But every time they take the streets, there's some sort of havoc is being created. So I'm wondering for these ordinary Liberians, people that might be attending to emergency cases and stuff like that, needs to rush to the hospital with that kind of traffic. How can they go through? How that do you think is there any fix that you can put forward at that intersection to put it to rest? Anything can be done considering
Yes,
what is happening now?
yes, Mr. So, but first of all, Liberians and the lawmakers and the government officials, they first of all need to respect the engineering society in Liberia, because without engineers, nothing you're going to they are the main source of whatever it is that is moving in our country, but they are not respected. And not because they're not smart. Like I said, you know me, I don't mind eating crow because I've been on here condemning all of them. But from what I saw, these people are intelligent and they have the ability to function. These Liberian young engineers, forget about the Liberian engineers, okay? They know exactly what need to be done. But the issue is, for example, the lights that everybody, CDC and CDC were all happy all over this place. These lights were constructed purposely for CDC and CDC-led government. There was not any kinds of serious input from any serious engineer how these lights should be. They put, sometimes it's very sad. You put light pole on the street. And most of the lights, and these things are simple stuff. Most of the light pole that you would see here in the United States, they have the bolt they call breakaway. When you hit, when an accident happens and the car or whatever hit the pole, it shears. It have a breakaway. They call it breakaway. In Liberia, they have the bolt so tight to the pole that when you hit the pole, either the concrete base come out or the entire pole just fall out and bend and see people get hurt. Those are kinds of stuff. And the engineers in Liberia, the Liberian engineer that I've spoke with, they're very intelligent. One of the young lady, I'm not going to call her name around because she's still working for the government, but one of the young lady that is part of this government, I had over 10 minute conversation with her, and I was surprised. She took me to tax, and of course, I'm not a brilliant engineer, but she took me to tax. Some of the issues, some of the things that she was pointing out from ASHTO. I was surprised to see this young lady is so familiar with the book of engineering process, international standard. She quoting all of these people are just smart. But the government, first of all, Mr. So, need to respect the engineers in Liberia, need to make sure that the engineers in Liberia have a seat at the table. They're not doing that. You have lawyers, you have accounting, the crooks, the rogues, these people go and steal money, but they have seat at the table. But you have your engineers that fight so hard for you to have something that will improve your lives, but they have no seat at the table. The engineers are not permitted, as far as I'm concerned. Another thing, at the conference, the minister said, and I have it on tape, the steel rod, they call it steel rod, rebar, the real name rebar, the rebar that are being brought into the country are substandard. And the minister was asking the engineer society to help her identify these substandard steroid so that they'll not be sold out to the public. But because engineers are not respected in the country, you can't have them to do these kinds of work unless you empower them. The government need to empower the engineer. Look at the street, look at the intersection. How quick, how easy it is to fix that. It's not even
Okay,
strike. It's not even
let's
strike, Mr. So.
let's take an example because believe me or not, I was also what's going on here. You start playing with your okay. I'll tell you start with your total stuff here. We're also in the street, and our camera managed to capture some of these things that we talk about that is happening, and we're going to be doing that. And the reason we are having this sort of discussion, uh, this is not it's not necessarily about this government, but how we want things to be fixed. And two, these people who are seeking for state power, this thing might sound a little bit little, but we are not even hearing things out of them. We are not hearing enough coming out of them to say this is how we're going to get things done. This is how we intend to change things. This is our amateur camera monitor capture something. Let's watch this. This is a situation. This event right here at ELWA Junction. This is LRA. This is how horrible the traffic can be here in Monrovia evening hours. No law, no control. See this intersection. This is just way beyond police control. The vehicles coming from this end, coming from the other side, bike, everybody moving the same direction, leaving their lane, going into another lane. And it's just a strictly chaotic situation. Very close to 40 minutes now. I've been here. This is the bypass route. AB Trouble Road, if you will. Also, I'm calling the right route. But this is the scenario. The police in there, people leaving their lane, getting to other people's lane. Yeah, that's ELWA Junction, the big yellow building to you looking at it. That's right here, ELWA Junction. I'm trying to get around Rosie Highway, but God one knows how long it takes or it will take me to get to that intersection. So the car, the motorbike, the keke, pedestrians, everybody making their own way. You just have to make way. I mean, nothing. Everything just is just crazy. This is LIB. This is the event right here in Monrovia, ELWA. See the bike coming, the keke going. They're totally making the job difficult for the police, to be honest. People leaving their lane, jumping on another lane. And that's how it's being done here, all over the driving system. That's how it looks like. Very difficult situation. Okay. So let me get this here. This is a snippet of some of our camera capture. Here, this one here, I was heading to town right in Concord town. It was bomb. Okay, let me bring in the LIBERIA. LIBERIA, you had a chance to see that little clip? Look at your mic. Check your microphone.
Sorry. Yes, I did a little bit of it.
So it also makes the police. You said when police are there, police, they were somewhere around, but you see there, we are also a problem. And they make the job very extremely difficult for the police. The people do not even, I literally almost jumped into a fight because this person, the way he was talking, and this person claimed to be, I don't know whether he was a government official or whatever, but because you don't know, but the manner in which, people, they let us show authority. And the poor police guy there, Hassan, doing his job. And he was there screaming. And I was asking, what was the point? Why was he screaming? Because when you did that before or in the presence of ordinary people, you are also telling them to disrespect these police people. I can tell you, I did encounter few of them, and some of them, they are very decent people who love the job, who loves what they are doing. I got pulled over. Not really pulled over. It was a violation. But I also explained my position. And this police officer, he understands where I was coming from. And he said he asked for my driver license. I didn't defy him. I gave my driver license. Former Ministry of Justice, Ashmore Street, right? It's on Ashmore Street, where they used to have Gabriel Cinnamon and then CWA up there.
That would be Broad Street. Broad Street and Center Street.
What do you mean by Broad Street and Center Street?
Former Ministry of Justice, opposite the church building.
Which church?
The Baptist church, some other church.
Are you a Baptist?
Where they have Gabriel Cinema opposite Roxas Cinema. I'm a street man in Monrovia. You can't deny that.
All right. So yeah, it's the deal. Ashmore Street there, coming down to the former justice where you have Roxas, Gabriel on the right-hand side when you're coming down, it's a one-way street. But guess what? The do not enter is all the way down after Broad Street, all the way going to Gather Street, and you just see the arrow pointing, which you can easily see. But at least the beginning of the street, you know, I know, that's where it should say do not enter. At least that is, it will be visible to people, because if somebody is a stranger in the country and driving, you can't be looking for arrow. You're going to look for a sound that is visible so that it will give you a direction. However, you know, there was another guy with me, and I enter before he gets to realize, so, oh, that's a one-way street. But I'm already in it. By the time I could descend down there, the guy, the officer, he was already down there. He put his hand up, came laughing. I like, okay, how you doing, officer? He said, how are you? He said, this is a one-way street. I said, oh, really? He said, I didn't know that. He said, I'm gonna give you tickets. So I said, but I didn't even see the do not enter sign. So where is it? Because I just came through that hill. And you know, some of them, they are very, some of them, the old cap, I'm not talking about the overnight yesterday police, but those who are really being the police before all of this stuff, or being there for a little while with basic training, when you talk to them, there's a difference than those one who they just grab and pull face cap on them. So I said, officer, I didn't, where is the sound? Then he pointed across Broad Street. So I say, wait a minute. They do not enter sign. So I wanted to test it. So I said, okay, I think I will see when they say Patrick Suru or the city corporation, whoever did this, because it's not just about people resident that are here. If you say I should not enter, that do not enter should be on the out wall of the street, so that the person will know exactly who coming from left, coming from right. No, you don't need to go there. Do you expect me to jump over 2 streets to see the sign, or you want me to just be looking ahead to a point? So anyway, give me the ticket, but I will need to see the authority. And then he paused a little bit, because I explained to him, I said, this is wrong. And it making you guys' job difficult. Because when you arrest anybody here for this, they can easily argue out, even though it's hard to win the law. But look here, you're telling me to look across Broad Street to see the do not enter sign, and you just only telling me to look at the arrow where it's a one-way. I think that is insufficient. So I suggest you guys, since you're going to be here, you can get to your bosses, hey, we need to get this thing fixed. Because suppose I just ran in here and just bumped into somebody, and then he asked for my license. I gave my license to him. He said, okay. He looked at the license. He said, oh, you're not from here. So I assume you really don't know, how you look there. But what he said is okay. So I said, can I go? I kind of try to pull him around to see what's going to be the next thing. So he went and gave my license. I said, do I need to do any other thing? Are you still giving me a ticket? He said, no, that's okay. So right there was a sort of a engagement. There was some sort of a exchange, and he understands what I was coming from. So there are some good ones there, but if I put up some sort of hostile behavior because I have a license, the US, or maybe driving a car with press, I don't think it couldn't have really ended well. So I'm just only saying this to say there are some things that are in play that makes these people job difficult. But can they even speak out to these people? And even if they say it, will they listen to them?
Well, Mr. So, that's a valid point. However, as a good driver, one of the things that I also try to do whenever I hit the street, I see which one, where the car are parking, where do they face, and which one facing what.
Oh,
But
my.
that's a good point, because
You are trying to score a point here now because nobody likes
Mr.
me. So
So, I'm just,
I'm gonna just let it
I'm
drive.
not
Why are you
here
trying,
to
why are
score,
you
but
trying to tell me?
I'm just pointing out something to you. I think the fact that also indicates to me that you know that you are a new maneuver driver.
Oh
Because
God.
most, yeah, and so you just thought this is the way to go
Oh,
because you didn't see no sign.
Francisco.
But on a very serious note, they one way sign usually should be posted at each intersection,
Hmm.
and they continue to show, because at the intersection you want to make sure people who are, especially people who might, if the one way is going left to right, at the intersection, the person who wants to go left will want to see the sign say one way pointing to the right. And then if you person who wants to go right have the right to do that. You can't go left. So most of the time you'll see say don't no left turn. You know, but here's the interesting thing here as well, Mr. So. That country, Liberia, will be fixed. There's no question asked. But our people, we ourselves, as citizens of that country, make it so difficult, specifically in Monrovia, make it so difficult for the officials, government, to even function properly. And the reason I'm saying this is this. You have people in Monrovia that will look at those signs and consider it to be aluminum and take out those signs and go sell them. That's a problem. You have people that will go and not only the sign, but even the pipe that the sign is mounted on, they will take it down and go sell it. Why? Why are we not valuing these things? Because now let me put it back, since I've already told you this, let me try to put it back on the government. If the government, because we're all Liberians, everything in our country that is of the government belongs to all of us. Taxpayer money, what a Dr. Weah goes out and beg for the money, but he's begging in the name of the Liberian people. So anything that comes in our country that's supposed to benefit all of us belong to us. However, the government must be sure to make sure that the citizen in that community becomes proper, feel the ownership of whatever it is that is in that street. To explain to the community that this thing we're putting here is to benefit you. Make them to understand how important it is to take ownership of whatever it is that is in that street. We don't do that. As a result, I will take it down. The government will bring another one, man. You'll go sell it. No. The government will not bring another one.
Are these people children? Are they toddlers?
Mr. So, it's a human nature. They don't have to be old people or young people. It's a human nature. Anything, specifically in my country, Liberia, anything that is not of value to the people, they don't care. The same thing with road. If you explain to the people.
Okay, let's see here. Our man Josh Nimlin here is saying, the people can find job to take care of their family. What do you expect? Is that an arguable point? I went to Douala, and that's one of the reasons I will still find a way to sit with either Moses Carter or maybe Commissioner Sulu, because the behavior of the people, Liberian ourselves, and I agree with you, and I don't usually agree with you. The behavior of citizens themselves, we say we want development, we want things to be fixed, but we are not willing to make to get a sacrifice in place. People sit in the streets, motor car coming, and they sit there, they act like nothing going on. They won't move. I don't care what kind of bullhorn you blow. They won't move. The entire street. I mean, Douala is like a no man land. I drop my daughter off. You can't even get access to the school. St. Mary's. The only people that own a play keke, motorbike, and then you see a few police people.
Mr. So, it is very sad. Sometime, maybe
I have some picture. I will have to find those pictures. Maybe not tonight because I did a lot of pictures as well.
Few days before coming by here, it was on I believe they call it Memorial Day, where you have to go decoration day, and so I decided to go to the graveside of my brother, the late Illa Lawrence, and so we went. It's in Brewerville area, race after you pass Race Institute junction there. And so when we went there, the young men that were with me continued to warn me when we're coming by, let us don't go through Douala. There's a bike road over there through Corware, Stoughton Creek area. Right. Yeah. So let's take that. So we took that. Coming back, I said, I want to test it. He said, Mr. Toll, it's a wrong idea. I said, no, I want to test it. He said, okay. We got on it. A stretch.
He didn't know you were a stubborn old man.
Well, so what? A stretch of less than a mile. It took us 4 hours. 4 hours. 4 hours. For what? Why our brothers and sisters are putting themselves so much stressful condition? For what reason? Simple thing. Driving, there must be, this is exactly what I'm saying. Driving, you have to explain to the people. Driving is not a right, it's a privilege. And if you do not maintain that privilege by violating the law, the government can take that privilege away from you. But here's the thing that many people will say when you bring this topic up. They will tell you the keke and the motorbike are people who were put in the street by many government officials. And you will also hear from people that these people, the keke and motorbike operators, that most of them are young, but voting age. So the government of the CDC-led government, people would say that they're doing that, giving them this kinds of random driving privilege or whatever you want to call it, because they want the vote from them. And if they tamper with that driving ability for them to do whatever they're doing, they might not be able to get the vote from these people. Now, the point here, Mr. So, is this. You cannot mix transportation.
Mention is both sides though. Because you can't, those, and I agree with that. They are everywhere. They are untouchable because there is a political connection, like you said, which I agree with. And I've talked to some of them without even full disclosure, just sit and just have a conversation. But and they know exactly what they'll be doing. Because when they say, well, we know it's almost like here now, 2023 coming. So even it doesn't matter with this one yet. I'm not sure whether is something the very opposition.
Since I don't mean to interrupt, but since we're on this full disclosure, let me also say my own son is member of that motorbike group that I'm talking about. Here's the interesting thing he told me. Yaka Koluba, he lives in Yaka Koluba community. Yaka Koluba is one of the strong person, as far as I'm concerned, in a legislature in terms of making sure things are done correctly. And Yaka Koluba has not been in full support of the way these motorbike and the KK people are doing business in Monrovia. And my son told me, we're not going to carry Yaka next time because you're not supporting us. You're violating the rules, and you say the man is not supporting you, therefore you're not going to carry him, and he's not the only person. As when I was at his place where he lives in a community, and some friends came around, and I asked a specific question once again. I said, "My son is there." They said, "Oh, Papa, don't worry, you got call back. Will help. He ain't supporting us. You're riding motorbike, hitting people's cars, and you're telling me this man, Yaka Kolba, who is telling you to do the right thing, you're not going to support him because he's not supporting you to do the wrong thing."
I want you to comment on to what Mr. Gorin Zito is saying. So, Mr. So, the laws are there, but the government cannot implement those laws. I mean, is there any government that comes into play? Can they change the narrative now?
Mr. So, you remember the former W2 or O2, whatever they call their name, the police director, Abraham, who's also having to be your own friend.
Yeah,
this young man, when he was running, these people, they know exactly what they're doing. They didn't fool around with him. And so they tried to malign his character. They tried to bring in that he hit somebody, broke people's legs and what. But he refused for these people to behave the way they're behaving now. Right now, they have no law.
I tell you,
let me say that with a condition, Mr. So let me say that with a condition. I believe, even though to me, it's no law, but to them, they have a system. I keep saying that. Because sometimes if you're just driving and watch these people, the way they move their motorbike, the way they move their keke, turning in front of you, cutting you off, there's a limit. There's a limit. to that.
And it's true. If I had, if I was if I was somebody that could get the ears of the president, Abi Kroma is the best. He could be a best choice for operation for police. I'm telling you, he did it before, and part of that is the guy. He's in the field. He's not just going to get people there or just give order. Guess what? When Mary Bro was on that operation, within that proximity, the guys and were just driving. When she hit red light, people in 70 seconds they were finding their way. Why is it like that? Why only Mirabro? Mirabro, is she the only utility player, or is she the only person that can enforce the law? I mean, you see the old lady now to age is catching up with her. So these people, our
Mr.
people
So,
are just defiant.
you mind if I use your platform to send a request out? The picture you just have up there,
Which picture?
going to picture.
You say this?
Yes. Yeah, I just want to ice cream. That's my sister right there, blood sister. To be honest, I'm asking him to see if he can send me that picture in my inbox. I really love my sister picture. She looked beautiful on that. But I would like to have that picture in my inbox. So actually, if you're listening, please send this picture in my inbox. I don't have it.
Samson Tour. We are on a national conversation.
So what make you think national team? I can't bring family business in it.
Actually, say here, is that why you?
No, Mr. So, I'm just telling you, don't start with your conservative idea. I'm a liberal. If I see my sister picture, I'm not saying because you got people watching you. Every one of the people that are watching, they got family members. What make you think I can't talk about my sister? That bad thing.
Okay, actually, there you go. There you have the liberal. Okay, so 2023.
Yes.
You are still with CPP. I don't know. Is it still alive or dead?
Mr. So we will take a beautiful time and discuss that CPP. But anyhow, let me just tell you.
Not necessarily CPP. I'm trying to. There's a conversation I'm trying to introduce. All of these things that we are talking about. The bottleneck is 2023.
Yes.
And we have two forces. In fact, 2022 will be quite fascinating. Three major elections will be held. The executive, which is the presidency, and the two branches of government. They are both lower and upper. People going to be voting. So that's going to be quite interesting. Who besides George, we are the incumbent. We don't know whether he's going to, anything can happen. We don't know whether he's going to seek re-election, whatever it is. Are we having the conversation now from the opposition column to say, yes, this seems to be the alternative? This seems to be the directions of the country that we want to go. Are they having that conversation now?
Mr. So, let me just tie CDC. I'm in Sacramento, but of course I'm going to be going back here very shortly. So I don't want CDC sedition to flock me, and so I would be very careful how I utter my words here this evening.
Anybody harass you in LIBERIA? Did you?
Mr. So, because they didn't know, they never saw me around. They didn't know that the liberal was in town. If they knew the liberal, their attitude towards the liberal might have been a little bit different. And so you didn't see liberal running his mouth, calling himself a liberal progressive. Whenever I do my podcast, I use my Samson Tour name. They don't know who that is. So please, now that no, on a very serious note, Mr. So.
Are you reading this yet?
Huh?
Can you see this writing?
What the guys here?
Mr. Thomas.
Who cares?
Oh, God, I love LPR member there. Everybody, did I get that? We can like this one. You're not saying anything by. That's a free.
No, he doesn't. But I'm being very truthful too. To be honest with you, I just like the LPR viewers. They're very truthful, and it's, well, like I said, when we come here, we tell them the truth. It doesn't matter what it is. But let me go back to my point, Mr. So. Look, this entire this upcoming election, this motorbike and keke situation that we just talked about, if this CDC government failed to obtain the second term, most historians will attribute that to this problem. It is affecting the psyche of many citizens of Monrovia. This people cannot live like that. You have people who living from here, some of them live in Liberia. They come here, they want to buy good things, car and things like that. But some of them want to think about the behavior of the keke and the motorbike. They just say, I don't want to. I don't want to go.
What is your proposal? Why you want the national government to do?
Not for me, CDC. I want them to be defeated. So nothing. Let them keep
I'm
it up.
talking about not only just the defeat. That's a short-term goal. Okay, CDC can go out tomorrow. I'm talking about the existence of these people.
Well, Mr. So, this is it. This is it. The motorbike and the keke that I don't despise them.
And the reason I'm saying that, all of this, I know Hellis Kumin wants to be president. Your man Joseph Boyka wants to be president. I don't know. And
what do you mean want to? Dr. Baka is your next president of the Republic of Life. What do you mean, Mr. So? Please, when you're speaking about Dr. Baka, you have to be a little bit. Forget about your conservative ideas and let's say Dr. Baka, the next president of the Republic of Liberia, Mr. So. Please.
Well, that's your view. That's your opinion. I'm not hearing enough out of those people, measures that are going to constitute to put in place, and everybody tight-lipped.
Mr. So, let me bust your bubble a little bit here. Honorable Cummings have made such a big mistake in terms of politics. I believe Cummings' mistake that he has made, he most likely in terms of politics, will be the biggest, and he will not forever not forget it. It will always be on.
What's a mistake? Share that. Also share your observation.
Mr. So, you know me. I'm cool. Nothing can move me. You know that. My hand thing, your mom, your hand thing, more. You know that. You know what I am. The fight, Mr. So, the liberal is on the floor. The liberal is speaking. Please.
Okay.
I'm glad that your second half. The center right is not with us tonight, and I'm not too sure if the young man in Nairobi, I'm not too sure where he stands here, but I will soon know. Sooner or later, we're gonna know because he associates himself with you. He's most likely to have a conservative tendency as well. But I'm gonna deal with all three of you, and our good guy. I'm not gonna call the other name. He's now running a legitimate process in Liberia, trying to educate our brothers and sisters. And I really take my hat up to him and congratulate him. And I ask him to continue.
You are very divisive, guys.
Mr. So divisive or not, may I finish my point? And I just want to say thank you, Honorable Professor. Thank you very much for going home to educate our brothers and sisters, future leaders of the country. Thank you, Mr. So. Let me go back to Mr. Honorable Cummings. The mistake Honorable Cummings has made, as far as I'm concerned, and ANC, you can bring it on. You ain't able me. You ain't able me. I will say where I see. Honorable Cummings is a good leader. He has the ability to lead. But I've always stated this, and I've always said this, and I will say it again. Honorable Cummings is not connected. He told us so. He's not connected. Now, what I thought Honorable Cummings and many of the ANC trumpet beater, drum beater, whatever they call themselves, would have recognized quickly is to say, from the beginning, we're going to go second to Dr. Baka. Dr. Baka going to lead this way, and Dr. Baka, because
are you coming back with the same old radar?
Mr. So look where we are. Look. If you guys refuse to accept my proposal, refuse to accept my ideas, look where we are. Look where we are. Dr. Weah is now guaranteed. Dr. Weah is now guaranteed to be the next president of the Republic of Liberia.
So who got us to this point?
And then it's the Comey and the ANC people. If Comey have accepted from the beginning to say, I'm going to go second, knowing fully well, Dr. Baka.
Second to who?
To Dr. Baka, the next president of the Republic of Liberia. Mr. So if Comey have accepted that position from the beginning, you remember he was here on this airway, and I specifically asked him that question, and then he disabused me, and not only that, He put me on the mark to say, Mr. Toll, this is not what we hear. We're not going to go into the contest to say we already were been defeated. I respected that and I accepted it. However, I thought Kumi and the ANC.
So let me, let's have a conversation here. And
But
probably, do you think, because, and I talked to both sides, that's the end of it. There's a complete dissolution now. Are we seeing it? Do you think the dissolution of this, is it an ANC? Is it Kumi? Is the cause of this whole thing to get us to be where we are today? Is that a belief?
No, I'm not going to wrap that around Kumi's neck. What I can say from my own perspective, Kumi, I told you before, and I have not changed my mind. Kumi came into this process trusting, fully trusting, without investigating those who he was trusting. The entire process, Dr. Bakai, Benedict Ure, my own sister, and the whole kabuki stuff.
Are they trusted?
Should he have trusted them? No.
I'm asking, are they trusted? Do you trust them?
Politically? Not really.
Why?
Because what they have done, they were not sincere. They were not sincere.
Why are you
Mr. So I'm being very truthful. And you see, that's one thing. You and the liberal have a separate mindset. I can be truthful at the same time supporting an idea or supporting a candidate. But that doesn't mean because I'm in support of that candidate that I should then blind it. I'm not blindly supporting anybody. I'm supporting them, but if I see something that is not right, I will say so. And then you think, say I'm flip-flopping. No, I'm not. I'm being truthful.
I never call you Mitt Romney or John Kerry. So if you think you are flip-flopping, then it's up.
Well, so be it. So if Mr. So, whether you think it or not, what ANC people say or not, it don't bother me. I know who I am. I'm not afraid. They can't move me. I'm like, cool.
Do you think Ambassador Baika have a standing in this coming election?
Yes, and he will.
So why he didn't? Do you think he made an effort to bring this thing to a resolve? He promised the Liberian people. Hold on. He promised the Liberian people. Lpr-Tv broadcast his conference in Philadelphia, and before he leaving that, he was going to do everything possible he can. Cummings was on one of these networks that he boycotted. Did not reach out. All we've been seeing insults from both sides escalating. They are unable to find a common ground. Now see where we are. It puts Liberian voters in a very disposition situations, not even knowing who to trust.
Mr. So, in as much as I support Dr. Bakai, I continue to support him. But I thought this particular incident was perhaps lowest point, as far as I'm concerned, in his political whatever he's trying to do. I thought Dr. Bakai would have used this opportunity to demonstrate not just to Liberians, but to the entire world that he's the big man in the room, the older person in the room that can resolve difficult issues. And from my perspective, he allowed this thing to slip out of his hand and out of his control.
Now that didn't happen. Within a small framework, a group of four with different people with different. With this now, can we trust his judgment to hold fire with a nation?
Of course, his judgment has not been for me. For me, Dr. Bakai's judgment has nothing to do with what happened here. So you can't say because he did Mr. So where you let them
speak. How can I trust? How can I do business with this guy when he's unable to resolve, to bring to a resolution?
Mr. So, do you think Dr. Bakai wants to do business with you and LPR? You guys have no vote. LPR and you have no vote. There's nothing you're going to contribute to this entire process. So please don't think that Dr. Baka is there waiting for you to do business. Dr. Baka is not waiting for anybody to do business. So I'm not even going to entertain the question of his, what are you going to question his judgment now? It was a little lapse. I'm saying this, and I will say so. Dr. Baka, I thought, should I use this opportunity to let the entire world know that he has the ability to resolve issues, difficult or not. But he didn't do that, my view, and that slipped out of his control. But that does not negate the fact that he has the judgment and the temperament and the experience to lead Liberia from this shaky ground. He will be the one that will steer the ship all the way to success. Dr. Baka is here to succeed and make sure Liberians are not spectators in their own home, literally.
You done?
I'm here, Mr. Soul. I went to Liberia. I'm back, regenerated. There's nothing here that they're gonna stop me or derail my thought.
Okay, what? That's a. I thought of something the other day, and probably we can still have lengthy conversation about that. For us to take this narrative being driven by these politicians to see how we can figure out to get it out of them and take this conversation with the Liberian people. Because the media itself has become a part of the problem in that we do not engage in substantive conversation. We more or less focusing on the entertainment aspect, which of course most of the people that's what they like, not all of them. Some really want to cut between the scissors to know which how they can really make informed decision. Unfortunately, these politicians, these people that are seeking state offices, uh, they are not having interest in having this sort of conversation. They're having a conversation of entertainment to twist the minds and to redirect Liberians in order to make poor decisions and stuff like that. So let's have a quick break here and let's take a ride inside here. This is one of the ones. Let me go to Maryland County here. This is what I started with.
Merci.
Of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv, try to just pull around on some of the things that we observe. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of videos and other pictures that we have. But we intend to be having this sort of a conversation where we want you to be part and just don't just leave this thing with the politician because uh, ultimately their decisions, their action is the one affecting all of us. For them, very minimal at a very minimum level. They're flying, they have their nice cars, and people, they're finding it very difficult to make ends meet. But when you go to Morovia too, nighttime, my goodness, man, it's like they get a money machine somewhere. Everybody having a great time, which of course is good. So it's kind of it's a very confusing situation. But the people have right to their own social recreation. But we feel we in the media industry, we need to do more, especially come this election. Media institutions that are taking side or tend to be compromised because they have befriend certain political figures. So those people are talking point, they take their talking point to be making the case instead of then answering their own question. That is not even happening as well. So we'll try to come up with something here where if you are supporting ANC, you are supporting Liberty Party, you are supporting CDC, what they call a party name, ALP or PLP, whatever it is. for you to come here and tell us exactly why what you have heard from these people for which you have made your political decision. We're not just going to leave it with a politician because your decision, let me bring in the liberal, your decision, people make careless decisions, and as the result, we all suffer. Are you still with Liberty Party, liberal?
Of course, Liberty Party is the party where if you want to belong to something, that's the party you go to. Now, that none of the other Liberty Party are talking about.
Which of the faction wing of the Liberty Party you
I
belong
am with the real Liberty Party.
Which is the
party, the party where you have my sister and the good senator from the good people, the good county of Grand Bassa County. So I'm not with any other Liberty Party that is they just yesterday Liberty Party. I'm not with them.
Who is there yesterday Liberty Party?
Of course, the most ability wing is the yesterday Liberty Party. Just coming to why
how you come to that definition?
Mr. So when was Musa Ability join Liberty Party? When did he become a Liberty Party member?
Is that a longevity you're talking about? How long he been, or what has been his involvement?
The whole what you call thing that I'm not Mr. So I don't care to discuss Liberty Party right now.
Why,
Mr. So can we change to another subject matter? Because the reason here, because Liberty Party is not in the standing, it's not in the running of trying to lead your country.
Are they part of the political process, though?
Of course they are. And they're doing good. She resounded flock recently, a sedition in Grand Bassa County.
When was that?
Do you not remember the 2020 election?
With Basan Gaffin?
Of course, a former senator and then former Secretary of State of the Republic of Liberia was resoundingly defeated by the strong political leader of Liberty Party.
All right, Liberal, we're going to be wrapping up. This is quite interesting. 2022, who do you think is going to be the next president?
Mr. So, do we have to continue to sing this song? The next president of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. Bakai, Ambassador Bakai, nobody else.
You're speaking with conviction.
Yeah, of course. Now, let me say this quickly to be the one to say this. Okay. If Dr. Bakai, I am hoping that Honorable Cummings will see reason and put aside all of the.
Do you still you started this sort of conspiracy, this sort of sound by here? Cummings go second, Cummings go to. I don't know who whispered in your ear. Do you think the descriptions, how he's being described, how he's being labeled, the stigma, and all of that? Can Joseph Boyka still come to a conciliatory point to bring in Cummings with with the Unity Party people? Can they still accept Cummings?
I believe if Cummings was to come in full circle, I believe there's room. Forget room. There's house in Dr. Bakai had for Cummings. The reason I'm saying this is this. I don't want to be one of those Dr. Bakai supporters who fool themselves or who is fooling himself. Cummings has good leadership ability. Let us don't fool ourselves. Cummings is one of the most important political leaders in the Republic of Liberia presently. Let us don't fool ourselves. Cummings has an international standing that many Liberian politicians do not have. Let us don't fool ourselves.
Who are some of those politicians?
I'm not going to go into that. Let us don't fool ourselves. However, Kumi do not have the connection with the Liberian people. Let us also not fool ourselves. And so the best.
So what is the priority then? Connection with the Liberian people, connection with the international community. Which one you're going to put first?
Connection with the Liberian people. The connection with the international community is just icing on a cake.
Does that mean Boyka doesn't have a connection with the international community, but get a connection with the Liberian people?
Why are you trying to? Why you
they
acting
like they are the two contenders.
Yeah, I'm not running campaign for either one of them.
I'm running campaign. We are trying to.
The point that I'm making. We are trying to connect both of them. No, I'm not doing that. I'm connecting both of them to come together and redeem us. Liberian.
I'm going to redeem myself. Nobody's going to redeem me because these people, they have never done that before.
But you're not even a Liberian anyway. The next time we see you in Liberia, we'll ask for a long form birth certificate, Mr. Soul, because you're not a Liberian. And you don't even have a voting right in Liberia anyhow. So nobody's thinking about redeeming you.
You claim to be a liberal, but you always adopt this sort of Trump style way of doing things. The same birth certificate in Trump brought to Barack here, that's what you're trying to bring. So is that how you guys, when Joseph Boyka became president, that how you're going to be witch hunting people to bring their birth certificate?
The point here is this. Don't try to, whatever statement that I make about birth certificate has nothing to do with the father of the nation. Dr. Baka is the father of all. So if I was successful in getting closer to that, he doesn't even know me anyway. But if I was successful to get close to Dr. Baka, he would immediately disabuse me to say, Mr. Toe, this type of idea of asking other Liberians for birth certificate, I don't play that. That's who he is, because he's the father of the nation.
Okay, well, the liberal, just a warm-up. We're going to be having this conversation. The man from the far right is not here. The guy from Kenya, Nairobi, he's not here. But
because they all know very well, they were aware that the liberal just coming from Liberia, feeling taken by with some real total water, he's hot. And they can't stand that. So they're not going to be with it. Next time, are we having show tomorrow? They're not going to show. Are we having show Monday? They're not going to show until the liberal cooled off, which I'm not about ready to do right now.
Okay. That's the liberal progressive. We're going to draw the curtain down here this evening. Yeah, but I'm thinking about that. For us to be having this, take this thing from the hands of the politician a little bit and see what the ordinary Liberian, because I'm not hearing anything. I'm not speaking for anybody, but I'm just not hearing enough from these people as to how this thing can be done differently. I want to see people who to take some measures, a concrete one, not abstract. If I'm elected president, this is what's going to take place. This is a sort of change. What are you going to hurt your vote?
Mr. So, why are you trying to act like you have not seen Honorable Cummings made those statements? Dr. Baka made those statements. When they are elected, they told you exactly how they're going to run the country of the Republic of Liberia. First thing first, there will be massive auditing of past administration. Requesting auditing or proposing auditing does not indicate corruption, does not indicate that the past government was behaving or corrupt. No, far from it. In fact, if I were the past government, I would request auditing, because that's how you clear your name with all of these rumors.
That's the fear. That's the fear. When people talk about audit, it's like you have committed a crime. It's just to verify, to make sure if you are leaving office and if it is $10 there, you can't just tell me, say $10. I must, auditors or people should it's just to verify, to make sure what you say it is there. But people take offense to it and they say others are eating a nasty. That's not it. Okay, Lebrat, we're going to be bringing the curtain down. I want to thank you so much for being here and our valuable follower members. And we will continue to have these conversations, and perhaps during some subsequent program, those that are willing to come, Once they can establish their political identity, so we'll just get a sense of their thought process, why they are supporting these political institutions or why they believe in these people they call their political leaders. Because most of them, they have switched parties 3, 4, 5 times. And then at the end of the day, and they ought to help to get us to be where we are.
But
And
will you not try to praise the liberal a little bit? The fact that I have not changed my political stripe at all. I have from day one. I've been singing this
what
song.
I've come to realize, your return now, it turn you into a very worse and more terrible situation. And I expect to see more of that coming. So the idea, I praise, I don't know, praise you for what or cheer you up for what?
Mr.
You
So,
have
I
some
am the
bad
liberal. I
ideas.
remain the liberal. I've not changed my political stripe. I've some continue to support who I
You
believe they're
have
going to be the
bad
next president.
ideas. You are very indecisive, and that's what exactly somebody wrote. They comment here. I don't want to repeat that. You read it and you just giggle about it, so you know exactly what it is. So,
Mr. So,
but
I'm cool. Nothing
okay,
moved me. You know the rule.
here we go. But something moved, or because Liberia is being hurt. The
Yeah,
liberal,
that's
the
what
one.
we're asking you to carry the name of Dr. Bakai. We're asking you to promote Dr. Bakai. We're asking you to ask the Liberian people to see Reese, to elect Dr. Bakai, because he is the only person that can redeem all of us, Mr. So, if you don't mind me saying so.
You see how you been so a whole sovereign nation with maybe over millions of people and millions are contesting. He is the only person. He is the only person. Seriously?
Mr. So, if you know who I am, if I'm in support of something, I want to make sure that something becomes successful. Why would I want to support Dr. Baka, but then I say somebody else? Who else? No one. No one. No one. Dr. Baka, the number
First
one.
of all, people can't even trust you because you're running away from your own party. Your party
What
is in
party am I running? I
disarray.
just told you
Your party is in
a Liberty
disarray.
Party member, USA. That is Liberty Party member, USA. That is because I have no affiliation. I have no
Okay.
registration with the Liberty Party in Liberia. But I do have which copy of which of my registration you have. I'm a member of Liberty Party, like USA.
The Liberal Progressive, thank you so much for the conversation and thank you for the support and everything you did for us. The trip in Liberia was wonderful. I think it was a kind of almost like a reunion, and I really, really appreciate it. And it's good that all of us are back again, even though we'll be going in here and there. But we get a lot on hand, and part of that is to keep the conversation to the point, make it more proportional. I have a civil conversations with our followers, our listeners, Liberians, and also make them to be part of the conversation because they should be part of the decision-making process. We must also listen to their voices. We can't just leave this only with the opposition because we did that in the past, in the present. It has not helped. It's time to change the narrative. I want to thank you so much, and by God's willing, we'll be back here as usual to do what we love doing tonight, discuss our country and all of that. I'm sure you get a lot of videos. I'm going to be putting some of the videos together. Uh, Before we go, this is your own. This is your own Grand Gita role. Grand Gita role. Let's see here. This is your own Grand Gita role. Look at this role.
This is State Villa Village. One of the places that used to be really bad. It's still bad. Yeah, in area. And they seem to go little by little. Yeah. So this is Villa Village. Managed to go. This is regular Villa Village.
You travel on our road, correct? The liberal.
Yes, yes, and interestingly, Mr. So, I have a video that I'm putting together. I don't have it yet. I'm putting it together. That I have a video that I'm going to be showing that connect from Fishtown all the way to Zorio after Tapetown, a few miles before Glory, and I have that, and it's very sad. It's very sad. But then again, we're trying our best to be involved in terms of road connectivities in Liberia, and we will hope that the whatever it is that will be taxed to do, that we'll do it to the best of our abilities, so that our brothers and sisters can be relieved of some of these headache of in terms of road and road connectivities in Liberia, Mr. So.
Okay, to the Libra, I want to thank you so much for the time, and all our many viewers and listeners. Please drop in on the few if there's specific thing you want us to talk about, or there's specific thing you want to know, you want to talk about as a citizen. You have the right. Just drop there, or even this is our phone number here. You can send a text. Let me just put it here, 682-433-8802. That's the number. If there's some specific thing you want us to talk, or you want to discuss, just let us know here. We're going to make time and bring you, because I tell you, it's Liberia. It's your country. It's not for us. We're just here to sit in the gap to have this conversation. It doesn't mean we know it all. That's not the point. But it is time for all of us to have this sort of engagement now. I want to thank you and have a pleasant evening. The Libra. Thank you. Oh, where you brought from Liberia?
Excuse me?
Where you brought from Liberia?
I brought a lot of bonings.
Bonnie?
Yeah, suitcase full of boning. Yeah, I know exactly where you go with that. So let me lead you. Let me just lead you straight out, because I know exactly.
Yeah, man. The man brought a Bonnie in the whole. You were in the whole up in Washington. He ended up speaking some crime before they could let a Bonnie.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, the Liberal, man. Thank you so much, and I have a pleasant evening. Good to have you back here, buddy.
Thank you. Good to have you as well. Let's do a good job. Thank you, and good night, folks.
Okay. Well, folks, that does it this event. I'm Afonso Z and Salt of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. This is how we're going to bring the curtain down here. We want to thank you for your time, and I always Yusuf, Rashi, Adret, Double, Roland, Stephen Escate, Stephen Ya, Anint, and all of those people. Hey, Derek, Port, what's up, my man? And all of you great people. Francis, thank you so much. Roland, thank you so much. Our man Emmanuel Boyman, Samson Kamara, Mr. Glay, Beatrice JJ, James Tennant, our front-time listener, viewers, Mr. Brooks, Mr. George Soud, thank you so much. Our own man Mason, Ayatollah, and all of you great people. Archie, Mr. Jacobson, Jacobson, I believe. Allison Mamin, thank you so much. Bernard, Manjut, Soiree, Otis Zilly, Benenis Topperfield, Charles Aku, our man, Emma Sana, my man, what's up? Thank you guys so much. I think we need to draw out a team here for us to start talking about Liberia. We should not allow these politicians alone. Thompson, our man Zilly, man Maki, thank you so much for the support and everything. Duanu Phillips, as well. Potuwe. I mean, Elisha, my man, right here. I'm not sure whether you stay with me or Ocean State, but good evening and thank you for tuning in. Patricia, Fatil Fambulet, thank you so much. That's how we're going to leave it. We're going to have a song to take us home by Liberian gospel artist, Minister Jemima Walker.
Your husband fall in love. We are not a woman. Don't let it bother you. I say let it go. If someone overlook you because you live in zero.
How many of us can really let go, or we believe in this sort of payback? Is really you slap me, I slap you.
You will continue to be a zogo. They say you will continue to be a prostitute. They say,
and that's the thing. Do not allow people to establish or define you, because when you do that, it just weaken your spirit self. Be able to establish and define your own identity. And this is why don't just empty all of yourself and people say, oh, that's him there, that's her there, because why? You allow the people to, if you allow people to define you, it takes a time to wash that away.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Oh, let it go. Let it go. Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go, man.
I can tell you from what I see, I took an extensive tour. Sometimes I used to get home 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. My sister would be panicking. Why are you driving up to this time? But you know what? When you get in the time, just loosen yourself up. Don't position yourself as somebody you're on top of the world. You're not on top of no world. We're not better than those that are there. And I can tell you, if you really want to get the news, put them in your shoe. Have a conversation with them. Open up and you will get the real news. The real news is out there in those trenches. Not people that want to sit and be having just beer in those big clubs and stuff like that. No. But when you sit with them, you will know exactly. And if you hear there's some of them that have a real lifetime story. If you sit with them and talk to them, believe me, you will know that we have a problem. This problem is not a short-term problem. This is a long-term problem that we are in. It doesn't matter who becomes president 2023. But if we are unable to address this situation now, believe me, we're going to come back here again after 2023 and we'll be talking the same old thing. And guess what? These people will want to shift the blame again. Oh, this one was not done. Oh, this one was not done. No, 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 no. I don't want us to have commentary. I don't want us to have this sort of obituary conversation. We need to have a realistic conversation. This is why for us, we want to hold these politicians, we want to hold them accountable. We are not against them. It is good to serve. But the authenticity, the genuineness, the breaking, you can't tell me you're gonna do something without you telling me how it's gonna be done. You just get and spread something out there and you want me to buy into it. We need to question it. We want to respect our leaders, but we want people that are honest, that love their country. We don't want to be continue to be having lawmakers that just make laws to certify to suit themselves, because I think this is where this whole thing in Liberia, sometimes we don't act the way we're supposed to act. There should be some sort of referendum. I think we need to visit that aspect. These people going there for 9 years, 6 years, this year. If I become a senator for 9 years, when will you, Elisha, when will you have the time? When will your son even think? And there's no guarantee after 9 years they will go by, another 9 years they will go by, because they know they have awarded themselves luxury of life, 40,000, 80,000, this 1,000 gallons of petroleum and all of these things. Who doesn't want to enjoy life? Who doesn't want to enjoy life? But it is unfair. Believe me, if they have their 2 years, 3 years, when they get there, they will take it serious. But at 9 years, it's way over the top. It deprives other people, it deprives other talents, it deprives Liberians, sons, good daughters who also want to serve. Prince Johnson, for example, I'm using as a reference, how long you been senator? You're going to be seeking re-election. Is there no any other person in Nima County to change the narrative? We have our own opinion. And many other places, many others. So why 9 years? This is the kind of conversation I want to start hearing from these people who want state offices. Look, if I become president, it's not the law you're going to do it, but I'm going to push. I'm going to take it out there to the voters, and definitely the voters going to listen, because this 9 years, senator 9 years, the representative 6 years, Creole man say a passma. That's too much. That's too much. It's part of the recipe to this problem. Stick how much they're making, multiply by that time. If they are doing things for the good of the country, to put the interests of the country first, for the most part, they make sure they satisfy, and then they come down to us. We don't ask them questions. They come, we give them huge political power. And then when they are dead, then that's what we want to ask them. By that time, it's late. It's late. It's like an ignorant of a law is no excuse. You should have asked what he or she bringing to the table, how or she going to get it done, their engagement. Nobody. But believe me, in the next coming months or so, they're all going to be going down now. They're all going to wear the pants now, and they're all going to be doing what they can do because they still want to hold on to state power. And when we see this young generation, who's supposed to step in the vanguard to have the conversation, they are not. Because the politician has been very successful to manipulate, to cajole them, and they are all falling. The media and all of us, everybody. Now we expect the country to change. It's just not possible. This country, the entire country from head to toe is corrupt. Down to the airline, they are corrupt. I want to LIBERIA up to this time. My suitcases, things that I even carry for my mother, funeral. Today, Air France, I can't hear anything. Nobody addressing anything. Why should we have a society like that? Things that they don't even do up here, they go there, they do it, and our people, nobody take action, nobody do anything. It's sad. Schools, they're supposed to mentor the people. School, and I'll call them St. Mary's, and I'll be going back there, and I'll meet them, the people that will meet them. That if parents don't go to PTA meeting, you send a request overnight, they don't go, you fine parents $200. School has become a courthouse where that money go to. So if I decide not to go, you just find me, that's it. You will not even find out why the parent is not there. Is that the education system? Is that how they're going to handle our country? What does that suggest? So the entire country is corrupt from head to toe, from toe to head. We got to check ourselves, and we have to make a sacrifice to change. It's not an easy thing. It's not just pronouncing. It's not just calling it. It comes with pain. And it comes with ultimate sacrifice. People building streets covered with, yes, people want to make market. We know people want to get something, but is that how I'm going to do it? Do you go to Ghana there, you see on major street and people just get and put any zinc shell or put anything there because they want to sell? We can't do that. We can't. We don't have no street, no sidewalk. Everywhere is market. Everywhere is table. Yes, we know people want to get something to turn around. We know the country is high, but we also have to step out to say, yes, this is not good for the country. Not just only you, because when it's good for you, then that's it. That's unfair to other people. So we can't have development like that. You give them a chance right now, somebody will go right Broad Street and build a house. Nobody asked them. Is that a society we want to have? Absolutely not. Thank you so much for your time, and we will continue to have this conversation. Hopefully someday, some point in time, people will listen. This song is a song from one of our Liberian pioneers, DJ, right here in the Ocean State of Rhode Island. DJ Achevon, I'm going to be taking you home. Have a pleasant evening, and bye-bye.
Everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. Everybody in the country getting mad. Dishonesty, poverty on the rise. The leaders, them making empty promises. Promises with no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days, money in the pockets. Oh, after holidays, Holidays only for the bosses. Yeah, there's a